Hey everyone, I'm Miss Brown. Okay. And this is Counselor Corner. Whoa, Ruff Ruff, you're really going to town on that shoe. Do you want to pause for a second and tell me just how your day is going?
Oh boy, I sure do, Miss Brown. I've been having so much fun today. I went on a walk, I chased a squirrel, and I found that shoe to chew on.
Seems to be. Well, I'm glad you're having such a good day, but where'd you get the shoe?
Oh, well, it was my neighbor, Mr. Thompson's shoe. But it was so chewy and fun, and he told me to give it back and not to chew on it. But I just couldn't resist.
Ruff Ruff, that's stealing, first of all, and chewing on somebody else's shoe, that's not very kind, especially when you've been told not to.
Oh, Miss Brown, it's fine. Mr. Thompson is always telling us neighborhood kids and dogs to do stuff, and we never do it. He yells for us to get off his lawn, so we made a game of how far we can get before he yells.
Ruff Ruff, that's actually pretty rude and pretty disrespectful to your neighbor, especially an old man.
But, Miss Brown, it was so much fun, and I didn't mean any harm. What's the big deal?
Even if you didn't mean any harm, it doesn't mean that you didn't actually cause harm. I think today maybe we need to talk about obedience, because if you don't listen to your neighbor, I wonder if you're being very obedient to Mama and Papa Ruff Ruff, or even your teacher at school.
Obedience? You mean like that class Mama Ruff Ruff signed me up for? I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, buddy, most dogs go through obedience training so that they can be safe and have fun. Obedience means just listening to instructions and following them. It's when you do what someone asks you to do, like when a teacher or a parent tells you to clean up your toys, and you do it right away. Being obedient helps keep you safe and shows that you're being responsible and respectful. There are 3 really important things to remember about obedience. Do you want to learn them with me?
3 things? Sure, I want to be a good dog, I guess.
Well, first, let's ask the kids. Why do you think it's important that we obey others, like our parents or our teachers? Pause here.
Whoa, obeying our parents and teachers is important because it helps keep us safe, teaches us new things, and shows respect. But should we always obey everyone who ever asks us to do anything?
Great question. It's important that we remember that while we should obey our parents and our teachers because they're our best interest at heart, we also need to use our judgment. Not everything somebody asks us to do is something we should follow, especially if it's unsafe or not right. It's always a good idea to think carefully, and if you're unsure, talk to a trusted grown-up.
So we should listen to the right people like Mama Ruff Ruff or you and make good choices about what we're asked to do.
Exactly, Ruff Ruff. Obedience is important, but it's also important for us to use our judgment and ensure that what we're being asked to do is safe and appropriate.
Oh, like if a grown-up wanted to hurt us or touch us on our private body parts?
Yeah, that would be a time to not obey. And really to get help from a different grown-up. And with other kids, we have to know when to follow what they've told us to do too. If they tell us to do something unsafe or mean, should we obey them?
No way.
Exactly. I'm glad we got that part clear. But most of the time, we have grown-ups who care about us and are responsible for us. With them, we have to remember that sometimes we don't always understand why they want us to do some stuff, but we trust them. So, we want to be obedient to our parents and our teachers.
Okay, so how can I be the best at obedience?
I love that thought. Well, first, we've got to obey right away. That means when someone tells us to do something like not chewing on a shoe, we should listen immediately.
Obey right away. Got it. But sometimes I get distracted by like squirrels and stuff.
Yeah, it's okay to get distracted sometimes, but it's important to remember to listen and obey as soon as we hear the instructions. We gotta focus our attention, because that way we don't end up in trouble or cause any problems.
Oh, I hate being in trouble. Oh, kids, what do you think might happen if we don't do what we are asked and obey right away? Oh, yeah, we might get hurt. If we don't listen right away, we could end up in a dangerous situation, like running into the street. I also heard someone say that if we don't obey right away, we could upset others, like our parents, teachers, or friends, because it can cause problems or make things harder for them.
That's right. And when that happens, because we aren't being responsible or respectful, we might lose privileges like screen time or a special treat, or we might even get grounded.
And then we might miss out on fun. I have really bad FOMO, Miss Brown. I do not want to get grounded.
Me too, buddy. I have big FOMO. Fear of missing out. That's why we obey right away. Second thing is we've got to obey all the way. That means we don't just follow part of the instructions, but we do everything that we've been asked to do.
Like when Mr. Thompson told me not to chew on a shoe and gave it back, I should have listened completely and not just halfway. I mean, I was planning on giving it back eventually.
Yeah, exactly, Ruff Ruff. Eventually is not right away. First of all, that would be only part of what he asked you to do. Obeying all the way means you follow through with all of it, not just the parts that you want to do.
Oh, kids, when do you think is a time you might have to obey all the way at school? Do you ever see kids only obey halfway? Oh, yeah, like when it's cleanup time. Sometimes kids might only put away some of their toys or books instead of cleaning up everything, which is what they were asked to do.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen some kids only obey their classroom rules part of the way. Like if the rule is to stay in your seat quietly during a lesson, some kids might stay seated, but they might talk and whisper or distract others, which is not really fully following the rule, is it?
Totally. Once we were supposed to be doing independent reading time, reading by yourself, and I was really into my book about velociraptors. My teacher asked everyone to read out of voice 0, but some kids were reading and then they kept talking. It was so distracting I couldn't do my velociraptor in my head.
Oh, it can be really frustrating when people don't obey all the way. It's not just us that we affect, but others when you were trying to read. It's so frustrating. The third thing is that we obey right away, all the way, and finally, to really understand obedience, we've got to obey with a happy heart. That means when we are asked to do something, we should do it with a good attitude, not grumbling or complaining.
I guess sometimes I do grumble a little, like when I have to come inside and stop playing.
Oh yeah, we all have moments like that. Ruff Ruff, it's tough to have a happy heart when we've been asked to do something that we don't really want to do.
Miss Brown, how can I show a happy heart to others when it's not my favorite thing to do? What do you guys think?
Oh, those are really good ideas.
Yeah, I guess even if I don't feel like it, I can try to smile and be positive anyway.
That's absolutely a good way to inform your heart and choose your attitude. That is a way to have self-control too. Another strategy is to think about the good parts and try to make it a little bit fun. Focus on what's enjoyable about the task or how it helps others. For instance, if you don't really want to clean up, you don't like it, remember that it helps keep the space nice for everyone, and maybe put some music on or make it a game.
Oh, that's a good idea. I bet that when we obey with a happy heart, we show that we're thankful and willing to help, and it makes everyone around us feel so good too.
Absolutely.
Oh, I want to obey with a happy heart, Miss Brown. I'll do my best to follow all 3 steps.
Let's say them together so we can remember. Are you ready? Obey right away, all the way, with a happy heart. That is the spirit, Ruff Ruff. I'm so proud of you. And remember, it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them.
Thanks, Miss Brown. I think I better go apologize to Mr. Thompson, and I promise to obey next time right away, all the way, and with a happy heart.
Oh, good. That sounds like a wonderful idea, Ruff Ruff. Good luck, and I know that you will do a great job because I know you know how to make a really helpful apology. Thanks for joining us today, and see you all next time on Counselor Corner.
See you soon.
Bye.